Good morning, Perth Fit Pros. We will be kicking off in about a minute. Let me just give a little bit of time for people to jump in live. If you are watching this on delay, welcome. This is our live webinar, the 4 pillars of social media marketing for fitness professionals. So again, guys, we'll give it another 45 seconds or so for those who are joining us live to join in on this. Hi, Matt. Thanks for joining. Good to see you. Talking today, guys, about the 4 pillars of social media marketing for fitness professionals. I will talk in a moment through the structure of this. Again, we'll just give another 30 seconds for those people who are joining us live to jump on board. Again, if you are not joining us live here, guys, please feel free just to skip ahead by 30 seconds or so. Give it about 20 seconds. I'll talk you through. Give me a shout out below, guys, if you are watching. Drop me a comment. Let me know if you're tuning in. Maybe let me know how your social media game is sitting at the moment. And we'll kick it off in about 10 seconds. For those of you who are watching this on delay, please feel free, guys, to drop any questions or comments as you go. I'll either answer them as we go through this webinar or I will answer them and drop any extra links, resources, etc. As we go over the next few days. All right, so today I want to talk about the 4 key pillars that I've identified that are vital in building a successful, profitable, purposeful fitness business. The structure of this, I will talk you through what each of the 4 is. For the first pillar, we will talk about what a 10 out of 10 ultimate perfect would be. So the absolute gold standard. I'm going to ask you to comment in the comments as to where you think on a scale of 1 to 10 you are sitting for that particular pillar. Then I'll talk to you about how and what that should actually look like. And finally, I will give you some practical takeaways in terms of this is what you go and work on next. So firstly, and I'm going to refer to some notes as we go here because there is a huge amount of detail on this. There's a lot of information that we can go into. So I want to make sure that I'm covering everything to give you guys a good comprehensive overview. So what are our 4 pillars? Our first pillar is content marketing. The second is social media documentation. The third, leveraging client content. And finally, social media paid ads. We can go into a huge amount of detail in all of these. We could talk for a week on each of them. But the idea is this is a nice little overview of everything that you should be covering. So firstly, content marketing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read you a statement and I would like you to post in comments on a scale of 1 to 10 how much you think this statement accurately represents you at the moment. So I'll read this paragraph to you, and this is the paragraph on content marketing. So if you can post in comments, content marketing, and then your score out of 10. If you don't feel like this describes you at all, it's a 1. If you feel like it describes you really well, it's a 10. So here's your statement. I regularly and consistently provide high value, quality content in multiple forms of media, written, video, image, audio, which is then distributed through multiple platforms. I leverage a single piece of content into numerous forms of media and numerous platforms. I'm active in the distribution of this content onto multiple social media platforms, as well as video-based platforms, YouTube, etc. And also text-based platforms like Medium, LinkedIn. My content positions me as an expert in solving the problems of the business's avatars. I'm considered the go-to expert in my niche as a result of the content that I produce. I have systems and processes in place that automate at least 90% of all of the social media posting of this content. So how well does that describe you? Drop a comment below for me, guys. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 if that does not describe you at all, 10 if you are nailing that. And we'll come back to those as we go. Again, I know a lot of you are watching this on delay, so please feel free to drop those comments in still so we can see where you're sitting. So as you can see from what I've just explained there, the purpose of content marketing is basically to position you as an expert, as the go-to in a certain field. Now, this is not an immediate generate 60 new leads in 60 days sort of bullshit. This is about positioning you long-term, about long-term marketing and branding of your business. So maybe in a month, 6 months, 6 years, someone is going to say, well, I need a certain service. And I've been consuming the content of this person for a long time, they are my go-to. They are the first person I think of. Hi Ellen, thanks for joining us. Content Marketing 2. Ellen, I'm working with currently through ROM Business Mentoring. We'll see that moving up towards a 10 very quickly, I promise, for Goliath Fitness. So how do we work out what we need to be creating content on? Well, it starts with the end user in mind. It starts with your avatar, which is a whole different discussion. If you want more information on avatars, drop a comment below and I'll post you a link to give you some more info on that. But basically, you need to establish the pain points of your avatars. What's keeping them up at night? What's worrying them? What problems need overcoming? So you start with that and you have a list of maybe 30 pain points. I don't know what clothes to wear to the gym. I don't feel confident with my body shape. Are carbs bad? All of these different pain points and questions that people have. That then becomes your to-do list for what to create your content on. If you cover the pain points of these avatars and you have your avatar clearly defined, you can see that in the long run, you're going to develop a huge amount of expertise to help this avatar. They will consume your content. You'll become the go-to expert. So when you're starting to create content, you should basically be doing some sort of bulk content creation. So what I recommend with my business mentoring clients is that they start off and produce at least 20 different pieces of content. If you're producing these 20 pieces of content, it's a sort of almost like a critical mass where you say, boom, here you go, world, heap of content. Your platform, your social media, your website doesn't just look like there are one or two lonely blogs on there. So you'll start off with that batched content creation first. Then after that, you'd have an ongoing social media strategy, an ongoing content creation strategy rather, where you would say, okay, every Friday morning, I'm going to write a blog, do a video, do an audio version of that, or whatever the case may be. Just so happens that's what I've done this morning. I've created content about the fact that a lot of fitness professionals do too many courses, accumulate these qualifications, and don't actually do anything with it, and are too deep and not broad enough. So that's what I've done this morning. From that point, every week you just have that content creation and you're just updating your database in terms of the content that you are creating. From that point, you need to then leverage that content. So let's say you've written a blog. You now need to create a video version of that blog. And again, there are a lot of ways to do this. This is one of the things that we talk about in the Perth Fitness Business Summit coming up in October. But you basically take it from a written version into a video version. And again, if you guys stay tuned and watch some of the content that I put out, you'll see that I post a blog, then I post a video version of it as well, maybe some infographics or memes on it as well. So we are leveraging that content onto multiple platforms, multiple different forms of media, multiple different mediums. So you can actually have a single piece of content. So let's say we've got a blog that can live on your website. The text from that blog can go on Facebook. It can go on LinkedIn. It can go on maybe a platform like Medium. You can then create a long form video, which lives on YouTube, on Instagram TV, on Facebook. Then maybe a short form video, which is a 60-second summary, which can go on to just a standard Instagram. So you can see we have a huge amount of content we can leverage from just one content topic. And this is where you really start to get to a lot of people in a lot of different places and a lot of different learning styles. From that point, you need some sort of automation. So if you have to post manually every time something needs to go onto social media, it's going to take you a huge amount of time. And it's time spent working in the business instead of on the business, which of course is what we want to be doing to move the business forward. So I recommend a platform like Edgar, which is meetedgar.com. The thing I love about that is you basically upload your content into a series of different buckets. Maybe this bucket is called blogs. This bucket maybe is called exercise demos, for example. You then have a calendar view where you can say at 8 o'clock on Monday, I want this software to pick up a piece of content out of blogs, drop it onto social media. As you create content on a weekly basis, you keep filling up these buckets with more content. The software keeps posting them. Once it's finished, it will start again. So making sure that your content is going to be evergreen. So that's a basic overview of the content creation strategy and how you would start to distribute that content to become an expert in your field. What I want to do is give you a 5 bullet point list here of what you need to be doing. And this is basically framed in what you're going to take away from the Perth Fitness Business Summit. So whether you're attending the summit or not, if you are, awesome, look forward to seeing you there. This is a bit of a sneak peek of what you will actually leave with. It's going to be very practical. If you're not attending, A, I would consider it. It's going to be epic. And B, this is where you need to go from here. So those of you who are attending the summit, in terms of content marketing, you will leave with a to-do list of content creation topics specific to your business, your clients, and your avatar. You'll leave with a fully completed blog or article that you will write under my guidance. So I will coach you through how to actually write that. You'll leave with a fully edited and completed short form video that you've scripted and filmed under our guidance. So very practical and hands-on. You'll leave with a checklist for content creation to create valuable content through multiple forms of media and on multiple platforms. And finally, you'll have a detailed plan of ongoing content creation. So guys, whether you're attending or not, those would be my next steps for you in terms of content creation. Let's move now into social media documentation. So again, those of you who are watching us live, or even if you are watching on delay, I'm going to read you a paragraph here, a detailed statement, and I would like you to tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how well this describes you. So as soon as I've read this, post that in comments for me. So I want you to write social media documentation, then your score on a scale of 1 to 10. Here's the statement. How well does this describe you? My business is highly active through short-term documentation content on social media using channels like Instagram and Facebook stories. The business posts daily content to these channels, which acts to give potential clients a window into my business and to provide a method of building culture by celebrating the achievements and successes of current clients. In addition to this short-term documentation through Instagram and Facebook stories, I regularly feature client success stories using a hero's journey narrative, which I'll talk about in a moment, to document their journey within the business. Live social media channels are also used to share real-time day-to-day operations. I then leverage all of this short-term content into longer-term documentation. All social media documentation features clients that match my target avatar and shows them all benefiting from the unique selling points of the business to overcome the common pain points of that avatar. How well does that describe you on a scale of 1 to 10? 1 if it doesn't at all, 10 if you are nailing this. Drop a comment below for me, guys. Write social media documentation and give me your score on a scale of 1 to 10 there. And again, as I look back through the comments here over the next few days, I can drop you some extra content on these if there is a particular area that you are struggling with. Social media documentation, drop me a score below. So let's get into the weeds a little bit on this and talk about what social media documentation actually is, why it's important. There are two purposes of this, two reasons that we should do this. The first reason is that it will celebrate the current clients in your business, celebrate your current members, show what they're doing, celebrate their successes, which is great for culture. So from an internal perspective, on its own, this is a great strategy. From an external perspective, what it does is it gives people a bit of a window into what you do. Now, if you are anything like my wife, Ash, you are ridiculously excited that The Bachelor is back on TV. Drop a rose emoji in comments if you are a Bachelor fiend like my wife is. And the reason people love this is because they get to sort of glimpse through the window. There's like a voyeuristic thing. What's happening in other people's lives? How many people are going to make out on this tropical island? People like to know what's happening in other people's lives. And that's effectively what you are giving them. You are giving them this insight into what's happening inside your business. It's a try before you buy. It's sort of looking through the window. Does this look like something that I might be interested in? Great. This looks like maybe the place for me. It's important that you're matching the content you're putting out with your avatar. So Ellen says social media documentation, 6 or a 7 out of 10. Scott Hook from Vast Strength and Conditioning, a 6 out of 10. So you're matching the content or the type of person you're posting with your avatar. So a discussion I actually had with Scott, thanks for joining us, Scotty, during the week was that he posts a lot of really good content, but the people he's posting doesn't always match the people he's trying to attract into his business. So a great strategy is to scroll back through your Insta feed, look through and say, are these the kind of people we're trying to attract? Now, if it's a bunch of buff dudes, black and white photos, climbing ropes and snatching 100 kilos, as long as those are the people you're trying to attract, cool. If they're not, you need to be changing who you're featuring in your social media. So if we were trying to summarize what you should be posting in this day-to-day content, your Insta stories, your Facebook lives, etc., it's basically going to be your avatar, people who are your avatar, who are overcoming the pain points of the avatar, which we talked about in our content creation section previously, living your core values, focused around your unique selling proposition. If you don't have a USP, let me know, I'll drop you a link to that below, and having a good time while doing it. Again, I'm going to read those 5 things out to you. Overcoming your pain points, using your unique selling proposition, who match your avatar, who match your core values, and have a good time while doing it. If you do those 5 things, you are going to create incredibly compelling viewing content, voyeuristic peeking through the window information for your potential clients. And again, making sure that the people are being celebrated within your business. In addition to that, Facebook and Instagram Live, the algorithms within these platforms love people going live, so the more of that you can do, the better. The final strategy here, and this is something that is more of a long-term play. So although a lot of these are short-term strategies, they're still strategies as opposed to tactics. It is a very good long-term approach, but you're doing them on a short-term, day-by-day basis. You can actually leverage this, and this is something that I'm not doing yet, but something that I'm going to start to do. What I would do is capture a whole bunch of little 3 to 5 second clips of your members of your client's training. On Google Docs, on your hard drive, whatever, you have a folder for all of your different clients or members. And at the end of each day, you accumulate these 3 to 5 second clips. They go up on your Insta stories, but you also drop them into one of these folders on your desktop, Google Drive, external hard drive, whatever. So you're saving up over maybe 12 months, a whole range of these 3 to 5 second clips. What you can then do with these 3 to 5 second clips is create a big highlight video. Here is this person's journey over the last X number of months. You can take this even further. So you can use pieces of software that basically going to edit this together for you, make it look nice and flash. But to make this even better, you can grab a testimonial from that client. Just a handheld, nice and sort of genuine, authentic, them talking about how they've overcome some sort of pain points in the business. So you can have all this footage that you've collected, them talking over the top of that, so all of that footage is B-roll. And then for bonus points, you are going to be talking as well, talking about the hero's journey. What is the hero's journey? It's basically a formula that's used in pretty much any blockbuster movie that you've ever watched. And there's a bit more detail to it, but let me simplify this for you. 3 steps to a hero's journey story, because we're trying to tell stories. We've evolved to like stories. We've evolved to sit around campfires in caves and tell each other tales. So stories are what will get people engaged. You start your story, you start your hero's journey with an obstacle that someone had to overcome. At first, Jess was feeling really intimidated and lacked confidence with starting a new exercise program. Then you talk about how they've overcome that. But soon Jess fell in love with our community, fell in love with our style of training, and now we can't keep her away. And then you finish it with what's happening next. Jess is loving this so much that she's decided that she wants to run 12 kilometers in a fun run. This is our next goal. So that 3-step process, that 3-step hero's journey. So this amazing content that you've created on a day-by-day basis, we can now leverage and say, we are going to use the B-roll, that 3 to 5 second clip that you've been posting daily onto social media as part of this documentation strategy. We're going to use this content with some testimonial stuff from that client, with you talking about this amazing journey that they have been on, how you've overcome some of their pain points. So that would be my approach to social media documentation. Let's move on now to leveraging client content. So this is a shorter one. This is our 3rd pillar here. Leveraging client content is basically about taking content that they are generating, using that as a form of social proof. So again, guys, I'm going to read you a statement here. I want to know how well this statement matches you on a scale of 1 to 10. As soon as I finish reading this out, I'll get you to comment below. You're going to write leveraging client content and give me a number on a scale of 1 to 10. Here's your statement. How well does this describe you? I have systems in place to encourage and incentivize the clients and members of my business to create and document their own journey within the business. I leverage this content through the business's social media channels. That's it. How well does that describe you? 1 if you're not doing that at all, 10 if you are nailing it at the moment. Let's talk about leveraging client content. This is basically where instead of you having to create content for your business, your clients or members are doing it for you. What does this look like? Hey, just hit a PB on my deadlift, 100 kilos. Thumbs up photo. A video of them locking out that deadlift. Some sort of, hey, here's me in this business, they're helping me succeed. Super organic, super genuine. It is you basically having them do your marketing for you. Now, this is so strong. This is like the ultimate testimonial. You're basically using them as micro influencers. What you'll then do is take that content and you share it, you repost it, etc. So then your network can see it. And again, that will go on all of your social media platforms. Ellen says 2 for leveraging client content. Scotty's sitting at a 0 out of 10 at the moment. Cool. Good opportunities here to get some low-hanging fruit with this stuff, guys. So you need to find a way to incentivize the posting. Now, this is something that I haven't nailed. So if you guys have got any ideas about this, please do let me know. But if you can incentivize, maybe they earn something, credits towards whatever service you're providing, whatever it is, some way to incentivize you posting or them posting to social media on your behalf. Scotty says he changes his score to 3 out of 10, doesn't do incentives, but do share. Cool. So yes, incentivizing the posting. It can be hard for them to actually create content because they're there training and they're hopefully not doing a selfie as they're getting that first pull up. So what you can do, and this is a strategy that has worked really well for me, is you will film these little clips, like the 3 to 5 second clips we talked about before that you're going to be putting on your daily sort of documentation stuff, on your Insta stories. You'll film these little clips and say, hey Pete, here's a video of that 100 kilo deadlift that you got today. I thought you'd love to see it. You send that through to them. What they then have is every day some content that you are sending them. Now, up to them whether they post that on their social media, but you start to get them getting this info, and then suddenly you'll get a notification and Pete has tagged you in a post. Cool, you jump on. So proud to get this 100 kilo deadlift today. Thanks very much to Sarah for all her hard work with me to get me to this point. Awesome. Share, post it all over the place, maybe even advertise and promote and put some money behind this. It's just the most amazing form of social proof that you can get. So that's my advice on leveraging content creation from your clients. The more you can do this, it's just so valuable. So really find a way to make this happen. Now, the final pillar here, paid social media ads. Again, we could talk for weeks on this, and this is something that we're going to be covering in a lot of detail in the Perth Fitness Business Summit in October. Early bird tickets end this week, by the way, guys, if you're keen on that. Again, guys, I'm going to read you a statement here. I'm going to go relatively shallow on this because there is so much you can do. If you were anything like me up to a couple of years ago, you sort of know, but you feel like you're missing something. It's a feeling that I got for a good sort of 5 or 6 years. Like I knew how to put together an ad, but I felt like there was something missing, like I wasn't just quite getting it. So I basically went and did courses and became qualified in social media advertising, paid social media advertising, and went pretty deep and learnt that the further down the rabbit hole you go, the further down the rabbit hole you can go. So you can go very deep on this, and we are going to go pretty deep at the summit, but I'm going to just give you the basics today just to give you some ideas and some things that maybe you can be working on. Tell me how this describes you. I'm going to read you this paragraph, scale of 1 to 10. You're going to post below social media paid ads and a number, your score on a scale of 1 to 10. So Here's your statement. How well does this describe you? I have a consistent and long-term social media marketing strategy in place that delivers regular leads to the business. I have a detailed understanding of paid social media advertising, and I know how to create highly effective advertising at the campaign, ad set, and ad creative level. My adverts are tailored to a specific objective based on the level of awareness of my target avatar. That's key. We'll talk about that in a moment. I use core audiences, custom audiences, and lookalike audiences to target the adverts. I run both prospecting ads and retargeting ads using the Facebook pixel on my website. I understand and utilize different ad format options and ad creatives for the specific intents of each campaign. I split test my ads and I understand how to use the dynamic creative function to optimize ad success. I regularly monitor the analytics of my campaigns and troubleshoot and make adjustments based on this data. I take advantage of integration with Google Analytics to track the online journey of potential clients. There is a lot there. How well are you doing this on a scale of 1 to 10? So comment below, social media paid ads, give me that score on a scale of 1 to 10. Let me know where you think that is sitting for you at the moment. There's a lot to it. Like I said, you can go very deep down the rabbit hole with this one. Post that score below for me, guys. So let's first broadly categorize social media advertising into prospecting and retargeting. Prospecting, as the name implies, as if you're prospecting for gold, is where you're going out and looking for new clients, trying to attract new people into your business. Matty Webb, thanks for joining us, Matt. Good to see you. Says he's a 1 out of 10 on that. Yikes, agreed. It can go pretty full on. Ellen was a 1 out of 10 on that one. Scott, who's watching, tuning in with Suze. Hey Suze, how you doing? Both from Vast Strength and Conditioning down in Perth's southwest, WA's southwest. They just said, what? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Yeah, it's a bit like that. It is something that we can really simplify, but it's simplicity on the other side of complexity. There's obviously a lot to this. Again, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do this at the Perth Fitness Business Summit for those of you who are attending, a bit of a system in place for that. So prospecting, going out and looking for new clients like you're going out and panning for gold. This is trying to attract new people into your business. Then you've got retargeting. So retargeting is using the Facebook pixel. Now, if you're not familiar with the Facebook pixel and not using it, this is probably the low-hanging fruit. You're really missing out. This is how it works. Let me give you an example. So you need some new yoga pants. So you jump onto lululemon.com.au, you check out some yoga pants, and you realize that they're $800 each. And although the quality is good, you don't have a spare almost grand lying around at the moment. So you go and buy them from Lorna Jane. But then the second you do that, you open up Facebook on your phone, and there are those yoga pants on Facebook from Lululemon being advertised to you. And they start tracking you. They start following you. Everywhere you turn, there's an advert for this. Now, a perfect example of this, as you guys may know, Ash, my wife, and I have a new baby girl, Charlie. She's almost 4 months old. And Ash borrowed my phone the other day to have a look at some new sleep swaddles for her because she was starting to roll over, so we need to change how she's sleeping. Anyway, Ash had a quick look on my phone, and since then, non-stop, every time I open my phone, I'm being advertised to by companies trying to sell me new dummies and sleep swaddles and special 21st century bottle teats that light up as babies drink out of them. So they're following me. What's happened is they have a Facebook pixel, a piece of code on their website, as do I, as should you. This little piece of code that lives on your website, and that piece of code makes a note every time someone goes to that website. So if you jump on the Range of Motion website, for example, I'll give you an example. So for our upcoming summit and PD events, I've got this piece of code, this Facebook pixel on the website. If you go to learn about these events, Facebook makes a little note. John has landed on this website. Here's Wendy, she's landed on this website. Now, I can't see this list, but Facebook has this list. They make a note of everyone who lands on the website. What I can then do is create what's called a website custom audience. And this is where this list is taken. Again, I don't see it, but Facebook has this list. And I can then send adverts, I can advertise to the people who have already landed on my website. So now I'm being advertised to for baby products because Ash did a search on my phone. It interpreted that it was me doing that search, and now I'm being shown this message. I'm being shown these adverts. That's your retargeting stuff. And that's absolutely key. And it comes down to levels of awareness. And I think this is what a lot of people miss out on when they're doing social media advertising, is they just put out a blanket social media position statement, a blanket advert, which is for everyone. But there are actually 5 levels of awareness. And I'm not going to go through those now. Again, this is a topic for more detail at the Perth Fitness Business Summit. But there are 5 levels of awareness. The first one is someone who is not aware at all. They don't know they have a problem. They don't know about your business. They're not looking for anything, example, etc. This person is the person who knows about your business. They're either already a client or they're ready to press the button to make that commitment. Then you've got various levels of awareness in between. You need to write your marketing message very differently based on whether it's someone who has zero idea that they even need your service through to someone who is about to sign that check. There's a different marketing message for each. Again, not something I'm going to cover now, but something that I will touch on in the future and at the summit. So if you're doing a prospecting ad, trying to attract new people, your ad shouldn't say, want a free trial? Click here. Your ad should maybe say, did you know that exercise is important to increase your bone mineral density and reduce the onset of osteoporosis? Now, of course, this ad is going to be shown to 55 plus women who have an interest in Osteoporosis Australia. So that comes down to your targeting. But you can see that we're first educating people, we're making them more aware, progressing them along this level of awareness. Then maybe we can say, so now that they know that exercise is important, you can start to say, well, this is the type of exercise you should be doing. Then the next ad campaign, maybe you're going to be saying, hey, did you know that Range of Motion provides this service? And finally, click here now for your free trial. So you can see we are curating this journey. We are leading them. We're starting to guide them from zero awareness through to, yes, I'm a raving fan of your business and have been for 3 years plus. So you need to carry them along this journey. Change your marketing message based on that level of awareness. Now, a lot of you guys will have played around and dabbled with social media, paid advertising. So what I'm going to do is give you a bit of a troubleshooting guide. This is how you need to look at the analytics, looking at what's happening and then working out what's going on. Because a lot of people, like I said, this used to be me. They do the social media advertising, wasn't really working, didn't know why. Oh, I feel like I'm close, but I'm missing something. So if you have one of these problems, I'll list the 3 main problems that I see with the people that I work with helping out with this sort of stuff, and then how to fix or address this problem. First problem, you're not getting impressions on your ad. So your ad's just not being shown to people. If this is you, if you're not getting impressions on your ad, you either need to increase your audience size or you need to increase your budget. Very, very simple. You obviously do that at the Facebook ad set level. Second problem, you're getting the impression, so people are seeing your ad, but they're just not clicking. It's appearing there in their feed. It's appearing there in their feed as they scroll, but they're not really interested. They're not clicking on it. If that's the case, you need to change the ad itself. So you need to change the imagery, the video, the text that they're seeing, and this comes down to it being relative to that level of awareness that I talked about before. It's basically not compelling enough to get people to take action. You're showing it possibly to the right people, although that's something that we can look at as well, but people are seeing it, it's appearing there on their phone, it's appearing there on their computer, but they're not clicking. Change the ad creative, make it more compelling for them to click through. And finally, if people are seeing it, so you're getting the impressions, you're getting that click-through rate, but they're not actually converting. So they get to your website, they're not actually doing anything. If that's the case, the problem isn't necessarily with the ad, unless you're showing it to the wrong sort of people who don't want the service you're providing. But more likely the problem is with your landing page, your website, wherever that ad is actually taking them. So you're either needing to work on your website or you need to change the audience. Change the audience there. Question from Scott. Can you edit ads once they are set? Yep, absolutely you can. You can go in and edit those at the ad set level or the campaign level or the ad creative level. Yep, that can be changed. If that's something you want to have a look at, Scotty, hit me up. shoot me a private message and we can have a chat about that next business mentoring consult as well. So those are your three main problems. Not enough impressions, in which case change your budget or the size of your audience. Second problem is you're not getting a high enough click-through rate, which means you probably need to change the creative itself to make it a bit more compelling. Or if you're getting the impressions, you're getting the click-through, but then nothing's happening, no money's coming out the other end, you need to have a look at the website and maybe have a look at the audience that you're showing it to. So again, summary, guys, of what you need to work on in terms of your paid social media advertising. And again, this is for those of you who are attending the summit, sneak peek here, this is what you will leave the summit with. So you'll leave with the knowledge of how to engineer a social media ad by understanding the campaign objective, audience creation, and the ad creative itself. You'll go away with a complete social media ad specific to your business. So I will actually guide you through, hold your hand as we actually write this out. Specific to your business and your target clients. So I'll guide you through the creation of this ad to make sure that you leave empowered and then you know how to do this. This is not me trying to get you to ask me to write all your ads. I want to, teach a man to fish instead of giving a man a fish. Teach you how to do this so you can do this going forward. You'll leave with the knowledge of how to use the Facebook pixel to retarget to potential clients who visited your website, as we talked about with the baby products or the Lululemon products. And finally, a method of knowing how to troubleshoot. So we'll actually have a look at some of your campaigns and how to troubleshoot those. At the Perth Fitness Business Summit, guys, basically the way it'll be set up will be like a big round table, everyone sitting around it. There'll be some theory-based stuff where I teach you, and then we will workshop this as a group, sitting around this table, solving people's problems as we go, learning from the mistakes and the successes of other people. Very practical, extremely hands-on. So guys, that's it. Those are my 4 pillars that I think you guys need to be following. Your content marketing, your social media documentation, leveraging client content, and then of course the paid social media marketing we've just spoken about. Guys, if you would like any more details on any of these, please do let me know. And I cannot recommend the Perth Fitness Business Summit enough. It is everything I know about how to run a fitness business and how to be successful in that. If you'd like more details, or if you just have questions, if you're not sure if it's for you, I won't try and encourage you to come if I don't think it's a good fit for you. So please shoot me a message, an email, comment below, whatever I can do to help in that respect to see if this is a good fit for you. If you're not looking at this from a business growth perspective and you just want to improve your ability as a fitness professional, as a health professional, you want to improve your knowledge in this area specific to being more valuable for your clients, then we have another event that's probably going to be more suited for you, which is the Perth Fitness Industry PD event. They're both one-day events running on a Sunday in October. They'll be full on. There's going to be a lot of content. And you'll leave with detailed notes and a practical step forward. Guys, hope this has been of some use to you. Work on these 4 pillars of your social media game. If I can give you any more details or help you in any of these ways, please reach out, and I encourage you to have a look at those 2 events we have coming up. See you next time, guys. Thanks.